Children, let us continue the poem John Brown. In the last class, we learned that how the mother of John Brown encourages him to go to the war and fight for the nation and obey to the commanders and receive medals and bring the medals to home and we will decorate it. And when she was sending a son, she was so proud about his look, straight, tall, look good in uniform. So she was telling her neighbors about her son's act, and whenever she received the letter, she was talking about her son and telling all of them and with much pride. And after long time, nearly a year, she received a letter and she was told that go and receive your son in the station. So she went there to receive her son with the same pride that he will come back with so many medals, and she was eagerly waiting there. And all the soldiers and all the passengers were getting down from the train. She was watching and waiting for her son to come down, get down. And all of them passed. At last, there we stopped. At last, all the people passed. She saw her son at last. When she did, she could hardly believe her eyes. What? Why? She could hardly believe her eyes. So she had that picture of her son, that a tall, straight, good looking young soldier in uniform. But what happened? In page number 20, oh, his face was all shut up and his hand was all blown off. And he wore a metal brace around his waist. He whispered, kind of slow, in a voice she did not know. While she couldn't even recognize his face, oh Lord, not even recognize his face. So, this is the expression of a mother here. And how? Why that soldier, young soldier, could not be recognized by her mother? What happened to him? Here, in the beginning itself, I said that this song is anti-war song. The songwriter has sung it as an anti-war song, and here he is clearly depicting the picture of a soldier who has got badly wounded. What happened to him? Wounded very badly and destroyed with a missile or gun or cannonballs and all the weapons which are used in the war was all shot up. All the body parts he has marks because of the scar, because of the wound, and his hand was all blown off. All his hand is full of mark and bullets, and his hand was blown off, smashed by the force of an explosion. Something exploded on his body. So, because of that, his hand was smashed. And he wore a metal brace around his waist. What is this metal brace? It's a metal belt to support his body. So, he was not able to stand straight. A man who was in the beginning of the song, the poet songwriter has written that straight and tall, Now he is not at all straight. He cannot stand straight. Now, what happened? He is supporting himself with the help of a metal belt. And with the help of that metal belt only he can walk. And he whispered, so his hand and the whole body parts are got shot, and hand was blown, and his back is not straight, and each and every part of the body got wounded, so shattered like anything, and it is fully wounded and are destroyed by the weapons they used. And the other thing, not only outward, what happened? He whispered kind of slow. He spoke very softly. His voice gone. He is not in a position to speak loudly. Such a smart fellow with full of vigor. But here his voice gone. In a voice she did not know. Mother never heard such a low voice or softly spoken son. She could not recognize his voice also. So mother can recognize son's voice clearly from where anywhere. It's a natural attachment. But here the voice of a son could not be recognized by mother. While she couldn't even recognize his face, first of all, she could not recognize her son, while all of them were getting down from the train. Next, his face all shot off because of the explosion, and now the voice also she could not recognize. Here the songwriter has written every part of the suffering of a soldier. A soldier who fights in the war needs all kind of sufferings. Here he was no longer handsome soldier. So in the beginning, again and again, the songwriter was giving us the picture of a handsome young soldier. Now he is no longer a handsome young soldier and in uniform, but a knocked down victim of the war. He is like a knocked down victim. He is a victim of the war. And his face was shot off, and his hands were blown off, and he is not at all in a position to recognize by his own mother. And when mother sees this condition, she was broken. She was broken in her deeper heart, and she started, oh Lord, not even recognize his face. Why? It is a repetition. Again and again she is giving the same sentence. Not even recognize his face. She was very much moved to see her son in that condition. Oh, tell me, my darling son. Pray, tell me what they done. So she is fully shattered, and she is pleading her son, please, I pray, tell me what they done with you. What happened to you in the war? How is it you come to be this way? What brought you in this condition? He tried his best to talk, but his mouth could hardly move. So when his mother was keep pleading the soldier's son to explain why this is your condition, there the son is trying to open his mouth and talk with his mother and could hardly move. It's full of marks, full of wound. So with much difficulties, he is moving his mouth. So on his face, he got severe wound. And it says that John Brown's physical condition. So, how he was finding it difficult hardly to open his mouth, and it is the result of a war, and it did not allow him to speak. And it says that mentally, one thing, mentally he is disturbed because what he expected, what he was told about war and the reward and the pride, everything shattered. So physically he is wounded and mentally also he suffered. So he was shocked, and both the way, mentally and also physically, he is not in a condition to speak out. And he started trying to tell what happened, why is this condition, why he is in this condition, why he is not standing without the metal belt. Everything he wants to tell to his mother. So he is trying. Don't you remember, Ma, when I went off to war? He is recollecting that scene of the day when his mother sending him to the war and advising him what to do, how to behave, how to obey. Everything he is reminding his mother. Don't you remember, Ma, when I went for war? You don't you remember, Ma? You thought it was the best thing I could do. You were sending me with full of hope, full of thought, which filled with pride. Serving the nation, going to the war will bring you such a reward, and you were filling me with such thought. And you said that that is the best thing I do in the war, in the world. And you made me, and you filled my thought with that, giving me all the good thought about the war, and you sent me with full of hope. I was on the battleground, you were home acting proud. So here contrasting how the people who are standing in the battlefield or fighting for the nation at the border, and the mother and the people who are talking with much pride to their neighbors. So I was there in the war, you were here in home and talking all with much pride to your neighbors. You wasn't there standing in my shoes. Here, the phrase, idiom is used, in my shoes. That means to feel exactly what a person feels. You never felt, you never felt that what I felt there. You'd have felt that much. You wasn't there standing, you were not there standing in the battlefield and fighting and suffering. You were just talking with much pride, bragging here and there. And and he is reminding her mother she was not aware of the reality of war, and she did not face the battleground, and she thought that war was a glorious event, because it is mentioned here in the beginning also, oh, good old fashioned war. She was very much pride about sending her son to the war. It was a very old fashioned, people talk much about it. It was a glorious event, they were thinking. So you were thinking that it was a glorious event. You were not there in standing in my shoes. You were not facing any difficulties. Let me tell you what happened in the battlefield, or what happened to me in the war. Why I am not able to stand straight. And why I'm walking with the support of this metal belt? Why there are marks on my face? Why my voice is so soft? Why I'm not able to open my mouth? Hardly I'm opening my mouth and speaking. What happened to me? Let me tell you, Ma. So, John Brown is explaining or describing and picturizing the scene of the war to his mother. And he says, oh, and I thought when I was there, God, what am I doing here? So when he was there on the battlefield, he cried and wondered what he was doing there. He himself wondered what reason I am here, and he is questioning God, God, why I'm here, what I'm doing. I'm not understanding what purpose I have come here. And he is answering himself. He is answering to himself. What he is saying? I'm trying to kill somebody or die trying. Ah, I am trying to kill somebody or die trying. These two. One thing I am trying to kill somebody or I am stopping. But the thing that scared me most was, and he was scared. See that word scared. He was shocked. He was afraid to see the condition in the war. He was frightened by the bad kind of things which are going in the battlefield. He himself could not understand because all the news and the things what he heard through his mother was a glorious event. You will just listen to the commanders and you will get lot of medals, and she gave all positive attitude towards that war. Now he was shocked to see the things in real. When he saw the things there, he was shocked. And what he is saying, I but the thing that scared me, he was shocked. What made him to scare about? What frightened him there? The most was when my enemy came close. When his enemy came close to him, when he was facing the enemy face to face, and I saw that his face looked just like mine. He is coming to his realization, realizing who is he? What is he doing there? He is just in shock and he was in trance mode. He was full of that thought. I am just the man who is standing in front of me, who I have to kill, that I am supposed to kill. He's looking like I look just like mine, he is looking like me. And that this was the shocking news, and he was scared to see the enemy was none human of his own breed and species of his own human. He was scared to see that, and considering other man as his enemy, thinking other human as his enemy, and trying to kill him. And he realized, he was shocked and he realized both of them over there, his enemy and himself, are the victims of the same war. He is a victim and I am also a victim of the war. We are forced to kill our own brothers. So he was scared to see that. And again the line is repeated. Repetition makes or give us that the poet is wanting us to say insisting in that point. Oh Lord, just like mine. The person who was standing in front of him was just like him. And it is irrationality. And I couldn't help but think through the, and he was not able to help himself. He was full of that thought. Why? And he is gone somewhere in his thought. And that time, what happened? Through the thunder, rolling, and stink. Here, the noise, sound made by the gunshot. And that is, thunder rolling is gunshot. And stink. What is the stink there? Stink means bad smell. What is the bad smell over there? Burning of the dead soldiers lying and shattered, and the burning smell of the dead soldiers. And his own eye is blown off. And when he was in that realization, thinking of that, am I here to kill my own brother? That I was just a puppet in a play, and he was thinking all these things. I'm here just like a puppet in a game, in a play. My mother and the commanders and the leaders of the nation, the political leaders who are reason for the war, is sending me here and using me like a puppet. And through the roar and smoke, this string is finally broke and a cannonball blew my eyes away. When he was in that realization, forgetting everything what is going on around him, it happens to everyone. Sometimes when we realize what we are doing, when we realize our mistakes, and we forget what is happening around us, and we not even see the people who are standing beside us, and we will be in that mood like that. He was in that mood, he was in last, and that time a cannonball blew his eyes away. And a string, that ball, they will put a string and they throw it, no, a string finally broke. That string full of string, cannonball broke and blew his eyes. So John Brown explains what happened to his eyes, why his mother is not able to recognize his face. This is what happened, ma. When I was there in the battlefield, this is what happened. So he's explaining. And that cannonball is a heavy metal ball, no, that blew his eyes away. As he turned away to walk and telling the whole story, narrating the whole thing which happened in the war, and just contrast to the thought of her mother happened to him. And mother was not at all knowing the reality of the war, because she had the picture of other side. She heard about the war as a glorious event, and she could not understand what I know about war and what happened to my son. Must be she must have heard and seen some soldiers went for a war and came with full of medals and brought pride to the family, and the whole city and the whole family was enjoying the day coming back of their son with full of medals. So that scene she had, and must have seen someone, and she was also encouraged and taught her son to do so. So when you become a soldier, you will also do so, and I will also feel proud about you, and we all will have a good time. So she had that in her mind, and now she is hearing all the thing which happened with his son. She is also shocked. As he turned away to walk, His mom was still in shock, and she was in shock. She is not in her sense now. And comparing both the thing. And when she was in shock, the soldier son turned away and walked. That means, Ma, what you said about war is futile thing. No use. And this is the price of the war I have brought. Walk, Walking with the support of the metal belt. At seeing the metal brace that helped him stand. So when he was walking, mother could see the back of her son wearing a metal belt with the support of the stand. Some support, metal support. He is walking. But as he turned to go, when he turned to move away from his mother, full of disgust and at the apparent glory of war, it shows that he didn't like the glorious talk about war. So, in this last stanza, the songwriter is bringing out his theme, anti war, and he was just hitting. And what the glorious war, it is only apparent, it's not real. And he was parting from his mother and also the medals. What he is doing, he is parting from his mother. And when he was parting and he called his mother close, Ma, come here. And when she was coming close to him, what he is doing, the action of the soldier clearly reveals how much he is not interested in the war. And he dropped, he not even giving or handed over, he just dropped his medals, all the rewards because of the adventurous act of killing many people he has received. And he just dropped it, his medals, down into her hand, and he walked. So he is not even wanting to keep the medals with him. So he is just dropping it. He wants to depart from that medal also. And this is the strong note of anti-war statements. Dropped his medals. The hard work he did there and the reward what he received, he just put it in her hand. And here, making the people, the whole poem, and in the last stanza, the songwriter making the people to realize the pains, all the people who fight there in the battlefield, the pains of the people, pains of the soldiers, and nothing else. Wars are for no good to any society. So, what he is wanting, it's better not to have any war, but try to be in peace and harmony all around us. Anti war means don't fight and try to be in peace and maintain the harmony around us. That is what the songwriter wants to make the people to realize that war is nothing. The old fashioned war, want to have and want to hold and to want to become soldiers, all these are mere waste. It is futile. Nothing. So, in the whole song, the songwriter is insisting and highlighting the fatality of war. And here, in each every line, he is giving us the complete picture. He is taking us to the battlefield and making us to picturize a good image he has used to reveal the reality of the war. So here ends the poem, and you have to understand each line and know how to analyze it with good explanation. So in the next class we'll see the next poem.